An elderly man strolls amid the rows of gravestones at a cemetery, accompanied by his family. He looks through the crosses before stopping at one in particular and kneels down in tears. His family approaches him from behind and attempts to console him. The film cuts back to June 6, 1944, when American soldiers are traveling to Omaha Beach aboard landing crafts as Captain John H. Miller gives instructions to his unit. Several soldiers are instantly killed by machine gun fire from German soldiers atop the cliffs overlooking the beach as soon as the boats are within shooting range. The soldiers that reach the shore hide behind steel barriers, which provide very little shielding from gunfire and mortar shells. Most of the U.S. Army soldiers are killed by heavy bombardment as they desperately try to find cover and gain ground on the Germans. Miller and the rest of his squad gather along a sandbar to plan their next move. He instructs his soldiers to clear the barbed wire and mines behind the sandbar using Bangalore explosives. Miller then has his sniper, Daniel Jackson, kill the soldiers on the machine gun nest with 2 precise rounds. Upon making their way behind the bunker, a soldier with a flamethrower sets the bunker on fire. Conceding defeat, some German soldiers try to escape through the trenches, while others surrender but are killed regardless. Miller takes in one last view of all the dead soldiers along the shoreline. One of them had the name S. Ryan on his backpack. At the American War Department, where rows of secretaries are composing letters to be mailed to the families of deceased American soldiers, a lady finds 3 letters for 3 soldiers who were brothers with the surname Ryan, addressed to the same family. The whereabouts of the 4th and youngest of the brothers, James Ryan, who was deployed to Normandy with the 101st Airborne Division, is unknown. General George Marshall is alerted to the letters, and he instructs his officers to locate James and arrange for his rapid return home since he doesn't want another mother to suffer the overwhelming grief of losing all 4 of her sons to the war. Miller returns to base at Normandy 3 days after Omaha Beach to give a mission report to the commanding officer, Colonel Anderson. Anderson informs Miller that his new mission is to lead a team into Normandy to find and return Private James Francis Ryan. Miller quickly puts together a team of 7 soldiers, and they all depart into the countryside of France. As they journey on, the soldiers question the sense in risking the lives of 8 men just to rescue one, to which Miller responds by saying orders supersede everything else. The team arrives in a small French village, where the army forces and the German forces they are battling are now at a standstill. Ryan is not present when Miller asks the closest sergeant if he is a member of his squad. While trying to navigate a path around the German gunfire, they come across a French family trying to flee their bombed home. Miller declines to take custody of a little girl when her parents demand the soldiers take her to safety, but Caparzo defies orders to take the child. A sniper shoots Caparzo in the chest when his cover is blown. Jackson then finds a good spot behind a mound of debris to get a clear shot at the sniper, killing him. Miller sternly instructs his soldiers to follow orders as he pulls the dog tag off Caparzo's body. Miller inquires about Private James F. Ryan from the captain of the unit. Ryan is escorted to Miller, who informs him that his brothers are dead. When Ryan asks how they died, Miller tells him they were killed in action. Ryan expresses surprise and informs Miller that his brothers are still in elementary school. Miller asks the man for his full name and discovers that he is James Frederick Ryan from Minnesota. Frustrated, Miller assures Ryan that his brothers are okay and that it was simply a mix-up. The squad hears that Ryan might have gone to the Airborne's rallying location from another 101st affiliated private who was receiving treatment for a broken leg. The squad arrives at the rally point, where they find a crashed airplane and a lot of injured soldiers. The plane's pilot hands Miller a bag filled with the dog tags of fallen soldiers. Miller orders his guys to look through the tags for James Ryan, but they soon realize it isn't there. Out of desperation, Miller starts shouting out Ryan's name and questioning the incoming soldiers. He gets lucky when he's introduced to a soldier from Ryan's team who's lost most of his hearing due to a grenade blast. The soldier informs him that Ryan was assigned to a mixed unit that is manning a bridge in the village of Vermel along the Murderet River. As the squad journeys through a field, they are met with heavy gunfire from Germans, but they manage to quickly neutralize the threat. The men try their best to save Wade, who was shot multiple times before eventually succumbing to his gunshot wounds. One of the Germans is captured alive, and the group gets into a heated exchange with regards to how to deal with the prisoner of war before Miller decides to let him go, much to the disapproval of the members of his squad. As the squad approaches Rommel, they quickly take cover when they notice a German armored truck. The truck is immediately bombarded with bazooka fire, much to the bewilderment of Miller's squad. A small group of U.S. soldiers emerges to introduce themselves. Among them is James Ryan. The soldiers take Miller's squad to their post on the Rommel Bridge that they are guarding across the Murderette River. Miller informs Ryan that his 3 brothers have been killed in action and that they have been sent to bring him home. A tearful Ryan refuses to leave, claiming that it is his duty to remain with his unit and defend the bridge with the only brothers he has left until relief arrives. Unable to persuade Ryan to reconsider his decision, Miller and his squad decide to stay and assist the unit in defending the bridge. The team then goes about plotting their ambush strategy for the inevitable arrival of the German cavalry at the bridge. Soon after, the squad notices the ground beginning to rumble, signaling the arrival of the German forces. A massive battle ensues between the 2 forces, which leads to severe casualties on both sides. Miller loses most of his men as the Germans overpower the U.S. forces. Jackson is discovered perched in the watchtower and is hit by tank fire. Mellish is ambushed by a German soldier who overpowers him in hand-to-hand fighting and slowly drives a bayonet into Mellish's chest. Horvath gets shot in the chest while retreating. Miller staggers over the bridge to get the detonator to blow the bridge, only to be shot in the chest by the same German soldier he freed earlier, as Upham observes. Miller pulls out his handgun and fires at the German tank, which has begun to cross the bridge. The tank explodes thanks to a small squadron of U.S. jets. Reiben and Ryan rush to Miller's aid. Upham captures an entire squad of fleeing Germans at gunpoint. He recognizes Miller's shooter and shoots him, killing him. Upham orders the rest of his captives to scatter. Miller, with his dying breath, he draws Ryan closer and says, "Earn this, earn it before dying." The film then cuts back to present-day Ryan standing next to Captain Miller's grave. He tells Miller that he hopes he has fulfilled Miller's wish and is deserving of everything Miller and his guys have done for him. He requests that his wife tell him that he has been a good man and led a good life before saluting Miller's tomb. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a like. Write down in the comments what movie you would like us to recap next.